Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Queen Naomi is said to have broken her silence with the weight of 1,000 truths, and her voice carries the authority of a woman who has seen it all, endured it all, and still stands with grace, integrity, and royalty. At the center of the storm is Akowe Oba, or Akowe Oba, okay? Akowe Oba. A respected royal secretary and one of the most trusted palace aides of the Ooni of Ife, now facing what Queen Naomi calls a gross injustice born out of manipulation, misunderstanding, and a moment of human vulnerability. Akowe Oba is not new to the palace of the Ooni of Ife. He became the royal scribe when Ooni of Ife was installed in 2015. So apparently this man has been there for 10 years with the Ooni of Ife. As a matter of fact, this Akowe Oba was, Akowe Oba for the past Ooni of Ife that is with the blessed memory right now. Joe, sorry, I don't want to misspell that name, but you know who I'm talking about, or mispronounce the name. But at some point, this Akowe Oba became very ill. He was ill. He had as a matter of fact, that time he had a terminal ailment. But maybe because of the graciousness of God, I think so, and the goodness of his own heart as a man, he survived it. He was flown to India at that time, and they treated him. He became well. And when he came back to Nigeria, it was no longer a terminal ailment. It became stable, and the man has been strong. But sometimes as human beings, the place where they say, "Me no go na there won't buy alcohol." Okay, and which is very bad. But that's not what we'll be talking about today. The reason is because he is somebody's father, somebody's grandfather, and all of that. And so we need to speak about him with respect. Okay, and so right now they know his weakness, all his weaknesses. And they know that this very Akowe Oba, the man is very close to Olori Naomi. This man loves Naomi like a daughter. And Naomi had a lot to say about the man from when Naomi came into the palace of the Ooni of Ife. When you hear about the factions, the elders, they have a faction. They are these ones who are supporting Queen Naomi, and they are these ones who are not supporting Queen Naomi. He is at the hem of affairs. On the other side, the ones I used to call the pro-Naomi elders. So he has always seen Naomi as a daughter. And Naomi, in her God's feeling, because I know that Naomi is a very sensible girl. I know that Naomi has an intuition that has been working for her over the years. I know that for her to get up and say this man has nothing to do with it, it's not just coming from the fact that the man has always been on her side. Naomi has been able to see deep that this guy has got nothing to do with it. And she had to speak up. That was how we got that information, that she even went to the palace to talk to the Ooni of Ife, to disclose a lot of things that Ooni of Ife was not even aware of to the Ooni of Ife. They said something happened recently that made them to hatch this kind of evil plan against this Akowe Oba, okay? They said an incident that sparked this controversy occurred during a palace event where Akowe Oba was reportedly seen in a drunken state. As an act, considered beneath the dignity of palace staff, especially one so closely tied to the royal documentation and confidential affairs. While many saw this as ground for disciplinary action, others saw it as an opportunity to maliciously frame and, eliminate a man who has long stood as a quiet pillar in the palace. For Queen Naomi, the entire situation, reeks of deliberate setup and betrayal. With her voice calm but heavy with emotion, Queen Naomi defended him without blinking. They are just using his drunken state against him because, they have been waiting for a chance like this. But I will not stand by in silence while an innocent man is torn down. She declared she wasn't speaking as the wife to the Ooni of Ife. she wasn't speaking as a prophetess. She was speaking as a woman who has witnessed Akowe Oba's consistent loyalty, his firm sense of justice, his humility, and the kindness he has shown to many, often quietly, often, thanklessly, okay? Now, they said Queen Naomi recounted a moment, okay, the world never saw. Akowe Oba has helped me deeply, and he's helped many others in this palace too. When I was pregnant with Adenikawo, there was a day I was climbing the long, stairs in the palace, and I suddenly lost balance. My whole body tilted backward, and I knew I was going to fall. If not for Akowe Oba, I wouldn't be standing here today. As a mother, he rushed forward, helped me with his 2 hands and, steadied me. He didn't think of status. He didn't think of protocol. He saved my child's life. Queen Naomi's tone shifted as she reflected on the kindness and discipline of the man many now seek to, vilify. This is, someone who has refused my money on several occasions. And not just mine. He has, returned money to chiefs, palace wives, even visiting dignitaries, saying this is not my rule. I cannot be paid for what I am assigned by the gods to do. That kind of integrity is rare, not only in the palace, but in the world. They said she went on to say that Akowe Oba is not someone easily swayed by gossip or politics. He is not, Monday. You can't, tangle power or money. You can't dangle power or money in front of him and expect him to forget his values. He stands firm, and that firmness has offended many who now see his temporary weakness as a chance to strike. But this one mistake does not erase decades of honorable services. If anyone or anything, it exposes the hunger for power in those who have been watching and waiting for him to stumble. They said Queen Naomi did not even blink when she was giving Kabiyesi point by point that Akowe Oba has been a very good steward to the Ooni of Ife. Akowe Oba has played his role so well. But one thing about life is that there are times where people get really weak. And I see this in those who drink alcohol. Most times, no matter how good they are, something happens one day, they fall back to it. Now I'm saying that nobody has the right or the audacity to use this against the Akowe Oba. They felt like he would not he is not going to be able to defend himself because he is always, like from what they are saying, that from time to time he gets drunk. They thought that they have, an opening to manipulate him. And Akowe Oba is swearing with everything. And people are seeing it. It was very clear. The document that made him to release that diary, that register, was signed and sealed by the Ooni of Ife, even though it wasn't coming from the Ooni of Ife. So Naomi is saying that you look at those. Where did that document come from? Who signed it? Who sealed it? That it is okay to begin to point fingers, but you know that the palace is spurious. A lot of things are happening. Only recently, Naomi backed, a project in South America. The same letter-headed paper, signed and sealed, was sent. Who is this person? Who is in custody? Who has those letter-headed paper? Who has a seal? Is it that they forge another seal? Is it that there is another seal in the palace that they are using? Or is somebody opening the door for them to use the major seal that the Ooni of Ife is using? Naomi is asking, why haven't they done anything about it? And why would they want to hold the Akowe Oba responsible for what he's not responsible for? And you do know that Naomi has got a great voice. Ooni of Ife listens to Queen Naomi. And so when Naomi came and spoke, Kabiyesi, couldn't even, in fact, the elders could not even say peep. Because she defended Akowe Oba with everything that she has got. Now, according to Queen Naomi, the elders who are pressing for his dismissal are not all united in sincerity. She admitted that many among them have come to her in private to say that Akowe Oba is a good man who deserves mercy, understanding, and support. Some of them cried along him, as he begged for clarity and defended himself in confusion. When he cried, he wasn't just defending his job. Naomi said he was calling for truth. He was calling on me, not because I am above anyone, but because he knows that I know his heart. She described how the palace is no longer what it used to be, where honor was respected and loyalty was met with reward. Now people are rewarded for manipulation, for, pushing lies, for twisting reality. Akowe Oba is facing a palace filled with people who want to rewrite history, even if it means trampling over a good man. Queen Naomi pointed out, something crucial. Drunkenness is not a pattern for Akowe Oba. It was a one-time lapse, and those close to him know he has been under incredible pressure. She hinted that the drink he took may even have been tampered with, though she didn't say more, okay? They said Queen Naomi, the things that Queen Naomi said, you know that the information that we are getting right now is that Akowe Oba drinks a lot, he's always drunk and all of that. That's the narrative that they are pushing. And Queen Naomi said it's not true. That she is surprised that people are sitting down and they are watching this narrative. You know how it is on social media. Sometimes you will see this narrative that is going round and round and round. Okay, let me digress a little. Recently, we got a report that a pastor in Port Harcourt had, buyed the wife. That was the report we got. A pastor in Port Harcourt, that the pastor is under police scrutiny. The pastor has been arrested. Do you know that report isn't true? The woman was not bought by the man. And if the man is not even under any police detention. So sometimes people just want to propagate a certain narrative, and if you're not careful, you now begin to buy those narratives. So now, the narrative they are propagating is that Akowe Oba is a drunk, he was careless, and all of that. That's how they wanted to seem. Queen Naomi said it was a one occasion, one time drawback, like he was under a lot of pressure and he took that drink. That for the man who has survived, the kind of, life-threatening disease that Akowe Oba survived, the man is very intelligent, very learned and exposed. He will never put himself in that kind of situation again. And Queen Naomi is saying, Kabiyesi, you know this. I am surprised that you sit here and you allow these people come up with different narrative about this man, a man who has served it for 10 years. So you cannot tell what Akowe Oba can do and what Akowe Oba cannot do. They said the way Queen Naomi spoke when Queen Naomi got to the palace yesterday, Queen Naomi is so respected because she is a very sensible woman. Akowe Oba has always been there for them. So many times she says she has given money to Akowe Oba. Akowe Oba will reject the money. Dignitaries come to the palace, they give that man money. They said he rejects all the money and he said that he is working for the gods. He's not working for this value that comes from, getting, handout from people. It is not a small thing that is going on in the palace of the Oni of Ife. They said they were holla, basbos, left, right, and center. That it is not a small thing. That the palace, they have seen it. They have not seen this type before. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.